But that's the best part about food and beverage are like the people you meet and the connections you can make.
For sure. I do love that aspect about it so much. And I
Right.
think that's why I love, like, even back to the first question, like, what does it mean to you? So many relationships are built on food and beverage when you take the time to even just like make eye contact with people
Right.
and like slow down for a minute and talk to them.
Slow down is a good part of
Yeah,
that.
you really get to connect with people. And that's part of it that I do love, meeting people that then become regulars, because it's like you took 5 minutes out of your so busy, chaotic day,
Right.
when you're in the middle of your shift, to really make a connection with somebody, and they're like, wow, I will be back to see you.
Yes.
Because
And that's the best feeling too. When like once you establish that a connection with somebody, they're gonna remember you too. Like
Yeah.
a lot
And
of
that
people
makes them feel special,
right.
especially people that aren't from here, that aren't locals. They want to go somewhere where they feel like, okay, I think maybe I'm becoming a regular,
Yes.
or they know who I am.
And they're fitting in.
Even if they don't
finding
remember
their
my
spot.
name, they remember my drink or the interaction, so it makes them feel like, okay, that's my spot.
Yes.
And that is so important to people that are, I feel like, relocating here, moving around.
I agree. And it makes people want to move here. Like that's the tourism industry is how we survive. What is your biggest pet peeve about coworkers?
Being behind a bar, something I learned early, if you're not a smoker, smoke breaks are so irritating. So that really,
I used to argue and I'd be like, why do you get to go step away for 5 minutes and smoke a cigarette, but I don't get to? I said, do I get to step away? Being on the other side of it, I was like, I feel guilty. I felt so bad because I'd been on the other
one in a
side.
million, because people that take smoke breaks feel zero guilt.
I know. They just feel like, I'll be back in 5. And I'm like, it's fucking pumped. There's 7 deep at the bar.
So busy.
And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to go take a smoke break because I'm stressed out.
Yeah. So luckily, I think after, my passive aggressive tone, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go take a smoke break. And I would just go like sit in the back and, just like relax. I'm like, oh, this is so nice, minus the cigarette. This is amazing, actually. Okay, another pet peeve, coworkers. I am a pretty, I shouldn't even say type A. I teeter between what I want to be type A about and what I want to be type B about. And believe me, when they're opposite, they're opposite. But what I don't love is, and this is just strictly bartending, serving, I could care less. I can do it all by myself.
It's like servers bitch about their side work. I'm like,
yeah,
go bartend.
It's so easy.
Get
so
out of
easy. Bartending, I hate when, especially if you're on like the speed rail, when things are not put in their place.
Oh my God.
I hate when you don't do opening side work efficiently, and then you're in the weeds
because you didn't serve
at dinner rush, because there's no fucking blue cheese stuffed olives, or you didn't cut back up limes, and now everyone's pissed off. I'm especially pissed off. Really, like, if you don't clean as you go, then my arm's sticky. There's shit everywhere.
That is my number one.
Really irritating.
I am the only female bartender at my job right now. I'm very type B. Very. Like, closer to type C, if that's the thing. Like, no organization.
We're going to say type C. Yeah.
But at work, like in my station, I have to have it spotless. Like, or if you put the liquor away in the wrong spot, it's muscle memory. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. What is this chaos you created?
And that's why, like, it's so hard when you bring in new people, come in and try to do things their own way, which is, like, you should feel comfortable, make your bar, but also leave it the fuck alone. Because I have had it this way for 10 years. And if
unless you're working by yourself, actually don't make it your own.
Literally don't.
Because it's so hard to relearn a system that is made to work.
Like, people started putting the liquor outside in different places, and they were not doing it. They were not doing it like vodka, gin, tequila. They were just putting shit out. I said, what's wrong with you?
I'm so happy you brought that up. That is crazy. We know who closed the night before. We know who you are.
I can say
because when we're opening the bar, it was always Friday nights for years, especially like COVID. Like I graduated to Friday nights, right? And it was a privilege, let me be clear. But no matter who I was opening up the outside bar with, we would open up the cabinets and be like, we know who closed last night. A type B, C, D person.
That might be type D. Okay. Yes. Fair,
because we'd pull out and it would be like vodka, tequila, bourbon. And we're like, how did your brain work where you're just recklessly pulling bottles from everywhere to put them away under the cabinets? Because it's
I know
not rocket science.
No, it's very structured, but you have to, so you're not sitting there looking.
That's a pet peeve. That is crazy.
Every day is a new day when I get there in the morning and I go to open up and I'm like, who the fuck put this shit away? because they literally were just, did you grab one from this side and then that side? How the fuck was the grandma put away at the same time as the Grey Goose?
Yeah.
Because they're on opposite sides of the bar.
When it's like people aren't thinking about what happens the next day.
Right.
But like when I'm closing or when I would close, one, I want it to be spotless because it's so much easier to walk into a clean space and feel like, oh, you can exhale and just like effortlessly set up the bar, unless you walk into chaos and it's like, now I'm actually in the weeds. Right. I should have gotten here 45 minutes early because.
But I took my time because I thought I set myself up for success.
Yeah. Oh,
I like opening.
Yeah.
Like you have control of what, like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I didn't do that, but I'll just do it tomorrow. Or like if I don't feel like stocking something, I'll be like, I did that to myself. Yeah. So like that. But then it's also like, oh, I can pre-set up everything so that I can get there.
I was gonna say, I was more like, you know what, someone else is doing money tonight, or like right now, I have 30 minutes. I'm gonna cut some oranges right now. Or go overstock everything so that
sometimes I'll do that.
Come in and just like sip my little coffee and have fun.
So like I'm too ADHD to do that. So like I have to come in and I have to have it be on a time limit.
Yeah. I'm so much like a race against myself type person. And like if I got there early, let me finish, and I'm gonna go like, I don't know, organize something. Like just
no wonder your house
like the liquor cabinet looks flawless. So let's go like straighten that up for a minute.
What's your favorite thing about the industry? Like I know we touched on like making connections and stuff. Again, why is it so important to you that people understand what you mean by like when you're all in, like when you're family, and what does that mean to you?
I think it's so important because people don't understand whether you're a hostess, a busser, food runner, server, or whatever you're doing, you can make that into a career.
Right.
You know, like we just did that like 30% rule.
Right.
Like if you actually give a fuck, you can make a lot of money, but you can also make a lot of connections. And I think in general, food and beverage is, people do, like you said earlier, look at it as like a building block or a stepping stone to a different life. And while I think that is the case for some people, I think it also can just be a building block for your life and your career in food and beverage, whatever that might look like. So to me, again, back to like, I take so much pride in the industry, in food and beverage in general, because I think the relationships that you build can be lifelong. Right. And I look at like now as a therapist, I mean, my first job as a therapist is probably bartending, bartending or serving.
That's where you learned.
Yeah, that's where I learned how to talk to people. I think that's where I learned how to be really empathetic. I learned how to talk to people that are, being in the industry, let's say starting at 15. I could talk to someone 15, obviously, all day long. Right. That's the people that you're around. I could also have a normal conversation with somebody 30 years old, 50 years old, 75 years old,